I'm kind of late with this one, but it's official. After months of discussing about EA and 2K making a new college basketball game, 2K won the battle. EA backed out because schools rather work with 2K, and this is the statement that 2K put out last week. It's NBA 2K26 launch week. It seems like a good time to share even more incredible news about the future of basketball at 2K. Yes, it's true. We are working on a college basketball experience that will feature more than 100 programs from across the country, from powerhouses to Cinderella stories. Competition fuels quality at all levels, which is why our approach with college basketball ensures our partner schools, college athletes, and our players all benefit. More good news. You won't have to wait long to start seeing your favorite colleges show up in game. We've got big plans for 2027 and beyond, even a few surprises coming in early 2026. We've proven the quality of the basketball experience we can deliver for years, and have every intention to bring that same level of quality to college hoops. Ball over everything, 2K. So there you go. 2K will be the only company making college basketball video games from here on out. But this post from Matt Brown, a top journalist and he's trusted as well in the college sports scene, said that at the time, a couple of months ago, when EA was in the race for one of the companies to make a new college basketball game, Matt Brown reported that from EA's proposal to the CLC, that this proposal also calls for the inclusion of women's basketball programs. So this would be a standalone title with both men's and women's college basketball teams and players. So this is what actually gave me the idea to make this video, because I said, now that 2K has the rights to make a new college basketball video game, why don't they just make a NCAA women's college basketball game separate from the men's? And you will see why I believe that they should do that. I'm going to take you back to one of my videos that I made to prove my point on why they should make a NCAA women's college basketball game separate from the men's. Now let's take it back. Now, this is the part where Angel Reese comes in, and this is what would change women's basketball forever starting at this point in time. It all started on April 2nd back in 2023 when the Iowa Hawkeyes would take on the LSU Tigers. The LSU Tigers would go on to defeat the Iowa Hawkeyes 102-85 and become the Women's Division I NCAA tournament champions. This is what sparked everything. At some point during the game, Angel Reese would follow Caitlyn and do the John Cena "you can't see me" wave, taunting her by doing it in her face, just like what Caitlyn did a couple of days before against the Louisville Cardinals. Even John Cena acknowledged what Caitlyn did and congratulated her. Then Angel Reese took it a step further and would point at her ring finger when she knew that LSU was going to become the NCAA champions. Angel Reese would get a lot of backlash for this on social media. She was called an effing idiot by Keith Olbermann. Then he would end up apologizing to Angel Reese and would go on to say this, as you can see on the screen right now. And then Shaq would follow up by saying, "Shut your dumb ass up, leave Angel Reese alone." Then Dave Portnoy would call Angel Reese a classist piece of shit, and Shaq would chime in and go on to say, "And so is your mother." Social media was really going crazy at the time and saying rude stuff about Angel Reese. People would also point out, how comes Caitlin Clark is not getting that type of backlash when she did this against Louisville? This is how Angel Reese would respond to the criticism publicly at the time.
All year, I was critiqued about who I was. Nobody, the narrative, I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit in the box that y'all want me to be in. I'm too hood, I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. So this was for the girls that look like me, that's gonna speak up on what they believe in. It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me.
Angel Reese and people that are behind her believe that she was receiving this criticism because she's black. And there's truth to this because some of the comments that were posted about her. But fans know that trash talking is a part of the game. It's nothing serious. Angel Reese hit the nail on the head when she said this even before this took place back on January 30th in 2023. She said, "I'm too hood. I'm too ghetto. I don't fit the narrative and I'm okay with that. I'm from Baltimore, where you hoop outside and talk trash. If I was a boy, y'all wouldn't be saying none at all. Let's normalize women showing passion for the game instead of it being embarrassing." This further proves my point. Even Caitlin Clark, that she did the John Cena wave towards, would come to her defense and say, "I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. I'm just one that competes and she competed. I think everybody knew there was gonna be a little trash talk in the entire tournament. It's not just me and Angel. It's a tradition, specifically in America, for a team to visit the White House after they win a championship. But this is where things get juicy. When the First Lady Jill Biden for expressing that she wanted Iowa to visit the White House with LSU Tigers, social media would go crazy and many fans would chime in and say this, and I agree, because why would you invite the runner-up to visit the White House with a team that just won the championship? It just doesn't make sense at all. Then Angel Reese would say, "Take a look.
We were to lose, we were not be getting invited to the White House. And I remember she made a comment about both teams should be invited because it was sportsmanship. And I'm like, are you saying that because of what I did and what, like, that stuff like that, it bothers me because you are a woman at the end of the day. White, black, it doesn't matter, you're a woman, you're supposed to be standing behind us before anything. So it's hard to see things like that and not to comment back on it, but at the same time, like, I have the platform right now where I can speak out, and a lot of people have had my back through it. So I'm proud to be in a situation like this, and nobody's giving her grace right now. Trust me, nobody's giving her grace, and that's why she's trying to backtrack on what she said. I don't accept I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't accept the apology because of, you said what you
Jill
said.
Biden.
Yeah.
First lady.
The wife,
lady.
yeah.
You said what
First
you
lady.
said and you meant what you said.
I said what I said, and like, you can't go back on certain things that you say. I mean, you felt like they should have came because of sportsmanship, right? They can have that spot. Like, we'll go to the Obamas. We'll see, I'm gonna see Michelle. I'm gonna see Barack.
Again, Angel Reese and the people that follow her would chime in and say if it was the other way around and LSU lost, there would be no invite. Then after that, Joe Biden's secretary would jump in and defend Jill and claim that LSU would only be invited, and later that week Angel Reese would accept the invite and what Jill Biden said was a joke. And here's where the villain versus the good guy for entertainment like a cartoon TV show or movie comes in. LSU versus Iowa was the most watched NCAA Division I Women's College Championship game in history with a total of 9.9 million viewers. So you see how attention is being brought to the women in basketball because of Caitlin Clark and the media making Angel Reese the villain. Now fast forwarding to Caitlin Clark's senior season. During her senior season, Iowa sold out all of its home games for the first time in program history and set the women's basketball attendance record when 55,646 fans attended a preseason exhibition game against DePaul College. I mean, think about how crazy that is. They converted a football field into a basketball court for a women's basketball game. Let that sink in. Every team that hosted Iowa during that season set an attendance record with an average attendance increase of 150%. During Caitlin Clark's final season at Iowa, whenever there was a regular season game that she was involved in, those games became the most watched women's basketball games of all time on 6 different TV networks. Caitlin's final regular season game for her senior year against the Iowa State Buckeyes was the most watched regular season women's basketball game since 1999 and the second most watched college basketball game of that season, which includes the men's games as well. The national championship for the women last year in the NCAA, when Caitlin's Iowa Hawkeyes went up against the South Carolina Gamecocks, 18.9 million people tuned in to watch. That was 10 million more than the previous year when they versed LSU in 2023, which made it the most watched women's college basketball game in history. Now fast forwarding to Caitlin's WNBA days. When she was drafted number 1 last year by the Indiana Fever, 2.54 million people. Now I'm going to add more onto this because that was last year. Let's see how the NCAA did for women's basketball months ago earlier this year. So ever since Caitlin Clark's and Angel Reese's departure from the NCAA to the big leagues, the WNBA, viewership in college women's basketball is still great. Because earlier this year on April 6th, when the Yukon Huskies went up against the South Carolina Gamecocks, this game became the 3rd most watched NCAA's Women's National Championship game on ESPN. There were a total of 8.5 million viewers and viewership peaked at 9.8 million viewers. The audience for this rematch against the same 2 programs from 2022 went up by 75% on ESPN. Also, the NCAA Women's College Basketball Tournament on a whole was the 2nd most consumed NCAA Women's College Basketball Tournament on record because 8.5 million minutes were consumed. This was also the 3rd most watched NCAA Women's College Basketball Tournament on ESPN's platforms. Regular season viewership was up as well, and the 2024 to 2025 season was the most viewed season since the 2008 to 2009 NCAA Women's Basketball season, as you can see on the screen right now. And there's this as well. As I said earlier, NCAA Women's Basketball is still in good hands when it comes to viewership. Growth and records being broken even with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the WNBA now. But now with Paige Bucher out the door and she's in the WNBA now too, you still have girls that will draw numbers and are contributing to the growth of women's NCAA basketball. One of them is Juju Watkins because of how great and electrifying she is on the court. The USC women's basketball team attendance quadrupled since her freshman season, and during the 2024 to 2025 season, a near average of 6,000 fans were coming to watch the USC women's NCAA basketball team play. Juju Watkins is even attracting celebrities to come watch USC play as well. Plus, Juju usually has more than 1 million followers on Instagram, so that says how popular she is. Hannah Hidalgo is contributing to the popularity of NCAA women's basketball as well, as you can see on the screen right now, and there's many more. This is why 2K should make a college basketball game for the women separate from the men, because there's a market. The game would sell. I think it would be a safe risk to take. The popularity in women's basketball is sky high right now, and just imagine if 2K came out with this news, it would break the internet. Women's basketball players are getting a lot of traction on social media that no one has seen before as well, so there you go. That's why I think that 2K should make an NCAA women's basketball video game because of how popular women's basketball has become, and no company has done this in the history of gaming. Imagine 2K doing this and making history again like they did with NBA 2K11. The gaming world would go crazy. But that's it for the video, and like I always say, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I drop a new video, and follow me on my X and Instagram account. It's the same name as my YouTube channel name, and don't forget to comment below. Your opinions matter, and share this video. Peace!